Somebody said, what about legal issues regarding the food we harvest? How much does a person get to take home? If we are making a profit from our harvest, how is the profit shared? Well, back to that sales contract and the infinite flexibility that we really have when we're selling an item to someone else. You can decide how you distribute vegetables, and you can write a membership agreement that explains it. And when folks know what they're purchasing and purchase it with full knowledge, then there's not a lot of liability that you can incur on a contract basis right there. But it was really the second part of the question that gave me some pause and made me want to include this one in the presentation. The person says, if we're making a profit from our harvest, how is the profit shared? I got concerned that this person might mean a monetary profit, and that they might be thinking about distributing monetary profit. If that's the kind of CSA that a person is considering, then that's an issue with state and federal securities laws. And so a federal security is when we sell an investment in a business where a person receives, a return on that investment. These are heavily regulated because people can lose their life savings in these sorts of schemes. And so state and federal governments have a lot of rules about disclosure when you're selling what's called a federal or state security. Now, most CSAs is a CSA a security? And I'm sorry, I apologize to all of you who are turned off by me wading into some legal stuff here, but bear with me for a moment, because this is a very interesting issue, and it's actually not one that I brought up in my webinar because I'm not convinced that this issue is really relevant. Some folks are concerned that CSAs are a state or federal security. This has huge implications for the community because it would obligate farms to comply with the rules for federal securities, which are really extensive reporting and registration requirements and things like that. I don't think with your standard meat and vegetable CSA that this is going to be the case. However, if somebody is trying to actually finance the startup of a farm through a CSA model where they are taking in money and they're promising a return on profit, we definitely have concern. That's not something to do lightly. If we're thinking of doing something like a cheese CSA, where we are soliciting investment in manufacturing equipment, we need to raise capital to establish a cheese business, and we're promising profit in the future. This is an area where we can't tread unknowingly. So I don't feel this is generally an issue with CSA as it has evolved in the United States. But if we start getting too creative and really trying to finance capital with this, we have concerns. Okay. Exactly what elements must be present to be considered a true CSA? For example, is paying for a box of weekly produce weekly instead of the season start still considered a CSA? I wanted to put this one in again because I think it's a really important question, and part of why I do what I do is to help start this conversation. But at the end of the day, it's not an answer that I can provide. It's an answer